Yo, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, I should say, actually, because this is a little bit of AM Yankees Avenue. Opening day is in 3 days. 3 days until the 2024 season begins. And, yo, shit's starting to finalize. Now, we don't have an official roster just yet, but I'm sure those who are watching already are aware that the Yankees named Luis Gil their number 5 starter, so we got that news, which is dope. Clayton Beeter, we found out, per Jules Sherman, has made the opening day roster. Now, of course, about a week ago, I had Beeter penciled in as the guy who would take the number 5 spot in the rotation. Of course, now with that being Gil, Beeter will pitch out of the bullpen. But, yes, just a few days away, the Yankees will open the season in Houston at Minute Maid Park, 4:10 p.m. Eastern. And, yo, speaking of that, we will be doing a watch party come Thursday. Now, I don't know all the details of it just yet, but at the very least, a half hour before first pitch, we'll be going live here on Yankees Avenue. And man, just looking at my haircut, I don't know if I fully addressed this last live stream we did. Sports Clips did me so dirty. Look at that shit. It's like a hybrid mullet. It's like the lady, all respect to her, she was nice, but like you look at it straightforward and you see like a standard crew cut, but you look in the back, it's like she kind of forgot. Look at this. I don't know. Not what this live stream's about, but kind of just wanted to come on here a little bit for Baseball Today and, no formal content prepared. No crazy topics to break down other than, Gil being named the 5th starter is fucking sick. And I'm stoked about that, which I guess we can get into. But let's just hang out for, maybe 20, 30 minutes here before I got to go produce Baseball Today over on the Jam Baseball channel, which for those who don't watch that, what are you doing? You're missing out. Chris Rose, Trevor Plouffe, although Jolly Olive today. But every day, we're back to 5 days a week, yo. So talk about a sign that the baseball season is here. That's one of them. Baseball Today going back to 5 days a week. But yo, Luis Gil, crazy spring, 2.87 ERA, 23 strikeouts and 15 2/3 innings pitched. Dude has looked electric. And of course, the big problem for him has always been command. You go back to 2021 where he set a record. I don't know off the top of my head, but I remember it was like 3 straight starts to begin his career where it was like scoreless, 3 straight scoreless starts. And I think that was some sort of a record. He was nasty that season. And I remember arguing a lot like, yo, if the Yankees get past the wild card game, you start him over Corey Kluber for a playoff start. Now, the only drawback to Gil at that point was his command. The stuff obviously was nasty. Fastball touching 99 to 100. Breaking stuff is legit. Was a top prospect, all that. But his command was an issue. Not this spring. Only 6 walks allowed. And he really had pinpoint control the whole way through. And when the report came out last week from the New York Post that the Yankees weren't really going to be monitoring his innings and there really wasn't going to be any restrictions on him post Tommy John surgery. Because, of course, for those who don't know, Luis Gil missed pretty much all of the remainder of 2022, a lot of 2023 as well, after tearing his UCL on his right elbow. He comes back this spring. While I didn't rule him out to make the opening day roster, I figured it'd either be Clayton Beeter or Will Warren or Luke Weaver making the 5th starter job. But the fact that Luis Gil is full throttle, ready to go, and looking as nasty as he is, I tweeted this out yesterday. This could lead to something much more than just him doing a nice fill-in job for a couple months till Garrett Cole comes back. Luis Gil, the way he's looking and knowing he doesn't have any restrictions and his elbow is all good to go, we could be in for something much more exciting than that. And I don't want to get ahead of myself like I usually do, but if I were to get ahead of myself, we're looking at a guy that could contend for Rookie of the Year. I don't know. Not that it matters, but it's something exciting. And I think out of all the options that ended up like showcasing itself this spring, whether it was Beeter, Will Warren, or Luis Gil, he has like the most like what's the phrase I'm looking for? Electric factor, if you will, which sounds so stupid, but like if there's a guy I'm most excited about that would get the 5th job, it's who they gave it to, Luis Gil. So that's really exciting, and he's a big Yanks staff follow, which I love. So shout out to you, Luis. And Clayton Beeter too. Obviously, he's not making the rotation, but he's going to be pitching out of the bullpen. Not sure for how long that'll be, but he was informed this morning that he is making the team. Another guy had a good spring, 17 strikeouts in 17 innings, 3.18 ERA. Yo, say what you will about Brian Cashman. The fact that he got this dude for Joey Gallo at the 2022 trade deadline, say what you will, but goddamn, what a steal. if Clayton Beeter amounts to anything for this Yankees team, whether it's this year, next year, or, whatever throughout his 6 years of control, if he gives them any sort of production, I mean, that is just without question one of the greatest steals of Brian Cashman's career. So yeah, we find out Heel, fifth starter, Clayton Beeter, he makes the roster. And yeah, just 3 days away from opening day in Houston. Now, some other news that we heard, not official, but it does sound like we're leaning towards DJ LeMahieu will not be ready for opening day. Now, on the positive, Anthony Rizzo, for anybody who was concerned about that, with his lat strain when he was scratched the other day, I believe it was Saturday from a spring game, he's good to go. That was the definition of precautionary. He's apparently it was asked to him, are you like a concern for opening day? And he shut it down immediately. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm ready to go. This was strictly precautionary. Just trying to get ahead of something that ended up being nothing. Rizzo's all good. DJ, though, sounds like he's going to miss opening day, even though he is progressing. The Yankees want to take it slow with him, which, that makes sense. I mean, semantics-wise, or just what's the phrase here? You want to have the best lineup possible for the pretty factor going into opening day. But if DJ LeMahieu isn't in that lineup, even the whole first series, or if they have to, maybe even they IL him to start out the season, I feel like there's more of a chance he's just not in the opening day lineup rather than a full 10-day IL situation. But regardless, it's not the end of the world. DJ misses the first couple games of this season and then comes back later on, a weekend. We'll be fine. We'll survive. The main thing that matters is DJ LeMahieu going to be a productive offensive player for the Yankees, which found a ball off his foot. Hopefully isn't going to, put too much of a detriment into that. But, so with that said, if DJ LeMahieu were to start the season on the IL, you're looking at, it sounds like Kevin Smith, who former Oakland infielder for the Oakland A's. He's had I think a pretty solid spring. Let me check his stats right here. It sounds like he's going to end up making the roster. Won't be starting. It'll be Oswaldo Cabrera, most likely, playing third base on opening day. But yeah, Kevin Smith, 114 games, career 173 hitter, 516 OPS. Dude can't really hit for shit, but, plays good defense. The Yankees like what they see out of him, and he was given number 14 yesterday. Shout out BBD, who pointed that out. Which, previously before that, he had a higher number, classic spring training bum number, if you will. That just got switched to a legit number. So you figure he's making the opening day roster. And they still have a final bench piece to add. I mean, even before DJ got hurt, there was talk of the Yankees, one, could add somebody externally, but two, you got to figure out what the bench is. And the Athletic, in their roster projection, they actually have Oscar Gonzalez making the team, which, quietly, Oscar Gonzalez, who has had a really good spring. Now, of course, for those who don't know, Oscar Gonzalez, former Cleveland Guardian. I wish I had some stats to show on the screen here. I apologize for that. But down year last year, 54 games, 214 average, 551 OPS. But 2022, he was really good. Rookie year with Cleveland, 91 games, 296 average, 11 homers, 788 OPS. He, you might remember, he hit a 2-run walk-off home run to send the Guardians to the ALDS against the Yankees in 2022. It was against the Tampa Bay Rays at home, obviously, if it was a walk-off. I think it was a 2-run shot. Whatever it was a bomb. Had a great year, that 2022 season. Down year in 2023, Yankees picked him up on a minor league deal, and he's had a really good spring. 326 average, 889 OPS for the Yankees, at 46 at-bats, a homer, 7 RBIs. He has a good shot at cracking the opening day roster. Once again, don't know how long it would necessarily be. I mean, if DJ LeMahieu does start the season on the IL, this more so goes to Kevin Smith, but it wouldn't be a long stay in pinstripes, pretty much just until DJ gets healthy. But Gonzalez, he's looked good. I feel like every spring training game you watch, you see him get a couple knocks or some sort of extra base hit. So kind of excited about him. Bullpen-wise, they just sent down yesterday. Let's see here. Who did they send down? I know Ron Marnashu got sent down, which, sad to say, was a no-brainer. Ever since, the second half of last year, he's just completely fallen off, which is a shame because he's the pride of Tom's River, my hometown. Ron Marnashu sent down. Cody Petit sent down, which was kind of surprising. He was in the running for to potentially get a job. Not surprising, but it was somebody that was on the fence that could have made the team. Nick Ramirez sent down. That makes sense. Obviously, the Yankees have enough lefties with Victor Gonzalez, who's looked good, and Caleb Ferguson, who they acquired from the Dodgers early in the offseason. So Petit sent down, Ron Marnashi sent down, Nick Ramirez sent down, as well as Will Warren sent down as well. Which once you saw Luis Heel was being named the fifth guy, as well as Clayton Beater making the team today, it was pretty obvious that Warren wasn't going to be on there. But at some point, you figure in the 2024 season he'll play a role. Kevin Smith watching us. What up, Feo? Sweet Retap. Yeah, so let's read some of your guys' comment now. Coldest bat flip of all time. Now, of course, Sweet Retap is referring to my walk-off homer off of Jimmy in Blitzball, which, I'm not going to lie, how bad I was in the following game in the semifinals against, Hookline? I don't want to just be that guy, but, it kind of just washed all the excitement away from it, because it was, had this big moment, feels like it was finally, the official turning of my blitzball career, if you will. We're all right, he's got this under control now. He's a legit hitter. And I just go back to looking absolutely horrendous at the plate. But no, that bat flip, that was cool. If you couldn't tell, I just had no idea. Not that I had no idea what was happening, but it was holy shit, did that really just happen? That was sick. Kevin Smith, I believe, could play third base along with Cabrera. Yeah, 100%. What's up, Bronx Banter? I've seen your stuff before, dude. I like what you do, by the way. But yeah, no, Kevin Smith will definitely be able to play third base. Not on opening day. You figure it'll be Waldo starting there, probably batting ninth. And a lot of people are assuming Wells is going to start at catcher on opening day. And the reason I'm thinking about this, I'm just thinking about lineup balance. Because, of course, Waldo is a switch hitter. Might just bat lefty, even though... Anyways, point is, Framber Valdez is starting for the Astros. And, of course, he's a lefty. I wonder if the Yankees will start Trevino on opening day. Obviously him being a righty, and you figure that's what they're going to end up doing at the catcher spot, at least to start out, kind of a straight-up platoon. Wells will start against righties, which is most of the time, about 70% of the time, Wells will be starting in that case. And then Trevino against lefties, which if that were to happen, Trevino would start opening day. But, with Kevin Smith, straight-up backup infielder until DJ comes back. And then when you figure he does, that's when... he'll be DFA'd or sent down. Then sending Trevino down to Mexico makes me think it's going to be Wells. Interesting. Yeah, the Mexico series, by the way, I'm not going to lie, I did not watch... it was on as background noise. I didn't really watch a lick of that. And I was kind of looking forward to it. But once it was just Volpe and Stanton that went off to, on that trip, seeing Tanner Tully was starting, and, I love Yes to death, and it's not even their fault. But the broadcast yesterday was rough. If there was no on-field sound. Love Bob Lorenz, excuse me. Big fan of him as a dude, but not Michael Kay commentating. And that phone call they tried so hard to get in with Omar Minaya, that was rough. So I was eating my Chipotle, turned it on, and I was after a while, I was you know what? I'm just gonna take off from this one. Another game tonight at 8:00, which I'll be tuning into that because, night games, a little more my vibe. But I'm not, at this point in spring training, y'all, I'm all ready to go. Spring training is pretty much over for me. I'm ready for the 2024 season. You have to work opening day. That's tough, man. So, what up? Dan Canobio was in here. What's up, dude? I miss you so much, Dan. I'm going full Yanks Ave this year. Let's go. Hell yeah. What's it called? Opening day, that's tough, working opening day. Now, I never really had that issue work-wise because I'd always just schedule myself to have an off day. I would put in, can't work this day. No, non-negotiable. School, though, I got to say, shout out Dan Rourke Sr. Always, without skipping a beat, every single year, would make sure I was taken out early to watch the Yankees. I remember starting, I think, 2013, because that was the first time I was a big-time Yankees fan. That opening day was, I think 2012 was on a weekend or something. It was at nighttime. They were in Tampa. But anyways, 2013, 1 o'clock against Boston. My dad took me out of school, and I felt like the fucking shit. I was telling everybody, they're oh, where you going? You got a Dodgers? I'm like, nah, motherfucker, it's Yankees opening day. Got my ass out of there, packed up my bag, see ya. And they ended up losing a pretty bad game. But ever since then, I've not missed, make sure not to miss an opening day. Especially these days. If I were to miss an opening day with, Yanks Ave and even John Boy and shit, I'd be doing something wrong. I'm not gonna lie, Bauer shutting us out for 3 innings made me sick, bro. I didn't really give a shit, to be honest. I mean, one, the only like regulars that were in our lineup were Stanton and Volpe. Two, I mean, you look at the like expected numbers of what Bauer did, like his actual like peripherals on the day, outside of throwing gas, which he was throwing like 98, 99, whatever. I mean, he allowed 6 base runners in 3 innings, had the bases loaded in the second, managed to get out of it, but you look at like, I mean, like his FIP, his like I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but like the advanced stats and just watching the game, like he did not look dominant by any means, but also either way, I don't really care. I mean, if Bauer were to get signed by a team, fine. I don't have anything like against him. Honestly, I'm not against Bauer getting signed. As for the Yankees, I mean, my main thing is there's no way after the breath of fresh air we felt this spring, not having particularly Josh Donaldson on the roster or Domingo Germán, and now that Chapman's out of there, like we kind of got the toxicity out of the clubhouse. There's no shot, and I truly like. I'm not even just saying predicting. I'm saying what I would want if I was the Yankees. If I was Brian Cashman, whoever, I would not. There's no chance I would bring Trevor Bauer into the Yankees clubhouse. Not to mention, even though he says they're cool, Cole has never liked him. So, nah, good off Bauer, but maybe he'll get signed by a team. If he does, I don't really care. With all this said, it didn't do anything for me yesterday, regardless of even if he looked phenomenal. If he threw a perfect game against us and looked sharp as hell for 5 innings or 6 innings, whatever. Amper0627 says, "Yo, Dan, what's up? Just tuning in. What's up, brother? Dude, I have an exam at 5 o'clock on opening day. I'm so tight." Bro, that's tough, man. Damn. 5 o'clock? Is that how college classes, they go that late? I was only in college for a couple weeks before I dropped out. I got one good thing out of it, though. My journalism teacher, who was a fucking tool, to be honest, but he did show me what is a top 5 movie of all time for me, Shattered Glass with Hayden Christensen. I highly encourage anybody to check it out. That was the one good thing I got out of college. I was not there long enough, though, to take a final exam. So with that said, that sucks, bro. That's tough that you have an exam at 5 o'clock, but maybe try to do the old-fashioned DVR. I don't know. I tried to do the DVR like a game one time, and it was Tanaka's debut, 2014 against Toronto. I was so pissed. I don't know if it was I think it was like a communion dinner or some stupid shit. Not stupid shit, but like it was for my brother, and I was so annoyed that I had to go. So I try to put the game on record, do the classic like don't check my phone, do not disturb, go back home, watch from the beginning like it was live. And like not even like 30 or 45 minutes in, I just had to like check. I was like, no, I can't do this. So I checked my phone, and that ruined that. But sorry to hear that, bro. Now Daddy Scatty says Luis Gil is not rookie eligible. Now if that's the case, I apologize for what I said earlier. Not that I really give a shit too much about the Rookie of the Year thing. I was kind of just being a punk, but I don't think that's correct, though. I mean, he's thrown 33 1/3 innings. Is that right? Pitcher, rookie, eligibility. Once again, if he's not, I'm not really all that hung up on it, but just being technical. Nah, you got to have, you have to have exceeded 50 innings pitched in the major leagues. So unless I'm off there, maybe, now it could have something to do with like days on the active MLB roster, but whatever. Let's see here. Exceeded limits in 2023. Yeah, so if he's not rookie eligible, it wouldn't be because of the innings. It might have been something else, but whatever. Who cares? I'm excited about Gil. I think he's going to be a stud. Not worried about getting Bauer or Monty. I'm excited to let the kids play till Cole returns. Yeah, as for Monty, I mean, there was a Heyman report that came out a week ago, which, obviously he's connected with Boris. It could have just been bullshit. But it said the Yankees re-engaged with Jordan Montgomery. Not putting too much stock into that. I mean, obviously at this point, I'm kind of just, forgetting about that whole thing. I mean, like, we got a rotation set, which I'll pull it up here. This can get us by. Nestor, I trust, as long as he's healthy. Rodon did not have a good finishing start to spring training. Fastball was only around 92, 93. Not a great way to finish. Did have some tough luck, but he showed enough signs that had me encouraged compared to what he was last year that he's going to be improved, Carlos Rodon, in 2024. Now, does that mean he's going to get back to being like one of the best pitchers in baseball? Not necessarily. And probably not. I don't expect like a 2.5 out of Rodon this year. But at the very least, his stuff is good enough. The track record has recent enough success. Even if he doesn't get back to that level, he should be at least a sub-4 ERA pitcher. And if he's that, along with Stroman, who concluded his spring yesterday, I think he finished like a 2.6 on the spring. He's pretty solid and reliable, very solid and reliable, to be honest. With Clark Schmidt and the way Luis Gil has looked, all in all, this starting five, as long as they stay healthy, classic, we'll be able to get by until Cole comes back, which we don't know when that'll be. Probably at least, we know the story is 1 to 2 months. I'm banking out on, to be honest, just not having Cole until the second half of the season, which, if that's the case, once again, with this rotation, we should be able to get by. And how good the offense is, we should be able to get by. And the Yankees always turn out an excellent bullpen. Last year, it was one of the best things that they had, or the only good thing that they had, really, was a bullpen that finished first in the American League in ERA. And year in, year out, whether they have names or not, and this year, they have the names, but they also, said this a lot, but the one thing you can always trust the Yankees on is their ability to turn no-name guys into high-end stud relievers. Nick Birdie's going to make the team, who doesn't have too great of big league stats in his career, has never really amounted to anything at this point, but his stuff is nasty, and you can just it wouldn't even be a hot take for me to say he's going to be one of the best relievers in the Yankees bullpen this year. It's almost I don't want to say a foregone conclusion, but you almost expect it to happen. So, point is, this team is good enough to get by. Missing Cole for a few months, need him back for the playoffs though. That was what I've been saying all along. Going back to the couple days where we thought, he might have a torn UCL, and I was bringing up going the Tanaka route. Maybe he could rehab it. Thank God it's not torn. But regardless, bottom line is just get Cole back for the playoffs, and I'm feeling fine. We can get by without him until then. I hear you, Faya. Okay, so it definitely was probably the service time. Let's see. Sweet Retep says, Dan, who do you trust the most in the rotation right now? I'd say Marcus Stroman. I think if you were to predict, if you had to predict an ERA and your life depended on getting that ERA correct, I think what you would go with would be Marcus Stroman putting up a 3.5. Because even though I like to think Rodon's going to have a sub-4, I don't know. Maybe he will give you 4.5, or maybe it'll be a 5. God forbid. That would be horrible. Or maybe it will be an even 3. It's still kind of a shot in the dark for the most part with Rodon, an optimistic shot in the dark. Nestor, if he's healthy, I think you're looking at Nestor, Rodon, Schmidt, Heel, and this would honestly be a W if they all averaged around an ERA of 4. Then put together, Nestor, Rodon, Schmidt, Heel, I think will be right around 4 ERA pitchers. All in all, take all their innings pitched, take all their earned runs, put the innings by 9 calculator, they'll amount to around a 4 ERA. Stroman, I think you can bank on him being around a 3.5. So I'll go with him. And then, of course, when Cole comes back, Cole. But for now, Stroman. Beater said he made the team. Yep, was talking about that before. Is my internet rough? Why I look like I'm chopping? Oh, back to normal. But yeah, no, we talked about Beater before. How do you feel about Schmidt now after spring training? I don't have too many thoughts, to be honest, on Schmidt. I saw a couple of his starts. Looked good for most of them. Some of them not so much. You just hope he's going to pick up where he left off from middle of May on. And if he does, he'll make 30 starts and he'll be right around a 4 ERA guy, which would be a W. Hey, Dan, when Cole comes back, do you see moving down to AAA? I'd like to see Heel get a shot in long relief role personally. Well, if the rotation stays as is, you figure, if everybody's healthy, it would be Heel that gets bumped out. But man, it's so tough to even forecast what'll happen then, because if we're going off the date that I had in my head, which was, let's just say second half, July 15th or whatever, that's 3 months from now. So much can happen, whether it's injuries, whether it's Nestor's shoulder falling off, knock on wood, or if Clark has a regression. Say Clark has a 6 ERA and Luis Gil is dealing with a 3.5 or whatever, then Clark goes to the bullpen. But as of right now, say Cole comes back tomorrow, obviously Gil's the one that gets bumped out. But circumstances and inevitable injury, hopefully at the most just one injury by then, because it's going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. That's just how it works. Circumstances will take care of that question, is my answer. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh boy. Snooze. It's 11:10. All right, I got to bounce in 5. for baseball today. Let's see here. But yeah, Cano went deep yesterday. That was cool to see, and I saw some people mentioning to sign Cano and have him be the third baseman. That was funny. But you know what? I think my thing's getting choppy here, anyways. So I'm gonna bounce. Appreciate all you guys tuning in for AM Yankees Avenue. And by the way, remember, Thursday we're doing a watch party for opening day, and I want as many of you here as possible. If you're not the type to like watch opening day with a watch party, I totally understand. So like, don't feel too pressured. But I'll also will, assuming it's a good one, probably chop it up for like a little individual video where like say there's some crazy moments. I don't know, Judge goes deep or whatever happens. Like chop it up, get my reactions, probably all put it out the next day. So whether you're here or not, might be able to get some good content out of that. If you don't, probably would enjoy it. Do pre-games, post-games, very extensive, further in-depth coverage of the Yankees. Because YouTube I try to give some love to as much as possible, and I'm gonna, really hone in, I think, for the 2024 season. But there's a lot more weird details coming out about the Ohtani fiasco. I control the